I am going to explain in C++ language how to create multiple objects. So, in previous classes also, I told you that whenever I was conducting Java, Python, okay, even those not C because C will not support object-oriented programming. C++, Java, Python, these are all object-oriented programming. They will support. So, how to create multiple objects? So, I told you that once a class is created, then after we can create multiple objects for a class. Multiple objects means I told you that class is a blueprint to create the objects. Okay, once class is created, so by that class we can create multiple objects. One class may have many objects. Okay, so I told you that every class has some attributes. Attributes means class attributes. The class may have some weight and color. Okay, the attributes are called class attributes, otherwise class variables. Okay, so whenever object is created, object is what? Instance of a class. Object is the instance of a class. So that object may have instance variables which will be shared along with object. Okay, so let us try to see how multiple objects will be created for any class. So see here, class, car class. Okay, so car has the class, it has the attributes, what? String, brand, model, both are strings. Okay, both are string data type. Okay, brand, model, they are the car class attributes. Okay, every car has somewhat brand and model. And year here integer type of class attributes. Class attributes can be called as class variables. Don't worry about that. Okay, I told you that many times. Class variables, class attributes, somewhere else they will be called as parameters, fields. Okay, at different situation they will be called as different. Don't confuse yourself. Okay, so once class car created, as I told you, class keyword. Okay, then car name means class name. Okay, then public is what? Here I told you that it is the access specifier. So access specifier, what it does, it will specifies that whether all the class attributes and methods, okay, whether they can be accessed from outside of that class. Okay, outside of the class. So it is public means they can be accessed outside of the class also. What? The class attributes and class methods. So public is the access specifiers within that public. So this brand, model, these two attributes, string attributes, and here integer attribute, they all of these are attributes. These attributes can be accessed outside of the class. That's why they are public. Now class is terminated, then after end with semicolon. Now inside of the main function I told you that in C and C++ same integer, the main function will be declared with integer. Okay, main function means they must have brackets, and inside of flower braces object will be created. Okay, with class name first, then object name. Next that line will be terminated semicolon. In Python also, in Python first object will be created for next class. First object, next class. C++, C sharp, first the class will be created, but in Python object will be created first. So as per that, car is the class name, then object name. Object name can be anything, X, Y, Z, my name, your name, it doesn't matter. Simply suitable car object 1. Why? Because multiple objects, we are going to create multiple objects. Car object 1 means this, it is the object of car class, that's why car object. So suitable object name, otherwise simply if you keep x, so x means what? X means anything. So that's why whenever you keep names for variables, whether the names for objects, whether names for classes, names for methods, okay, any attributes, you need to ensure that, we need to ensure that suitable names to be kept. Okay, here we are going to create an object of the car. So object is what? Car object. Okay, so one way, because we are going to create multiple objects, then how these attributes brand, model, year can be accessed by object. I told you in the previous classes, any attributes of the class, methods, they can be accessed in two ways. Either they can be accessed by a class methods, class attributes, otherwise object. Okay, by object. So first object name. What is our object name? Car object obj1 dot with the dot operator. Then the variable attribute name. Class attribute name is what? Declared inside a public specifier brand dot brand is equal to, now here you need to alert the values. Okay, whenever you are creating that object, that moment we need to assign the values. So brand is what? String. So string BMW, always string to be kept in double quotation marks. Model is what? String. You have declared model as a string, but here to integer. So car object 1 dot model is equal to x5. So that is also string inside of quotes, double quotation marks. Next, termination, semicolon. With semicolon, every statement of the programming to be terminated with semicolon. Now car obj1 dot year. Year is your integer data type. So integer value must be assigned to this. Okay, and then semicolon. 1999 is the integer type of data. Now one object, car object created. So create another object of the class, car class. So now car class name first and object name car obj2, second object, same properties, brand, model, year. So now if you want to print all these attributes of the class, print attribute values. I told you that to get print on the, if you want to see the result on the screen, so cout function. Cout function is part of your input IO stream. I will show. So cout insertion operator, two less than symbols means they are called insertion operators. Okay. So now car obj1 dot brand. So this is the text that will be displayed on the screen. Okay. Car object 1 dot brand. We are calling the attributes with the car object number 1 that brand is an attribute. Okay, square empty quotes, inside of the quotes double quotation marks, nothing we have written. So that is a, we want to give somewhat distance in between car object 1 dot brand attribute and car obj1 dot model. Understood that? Again insertion operator again. So white space given by double quotation marks with any empty. Okay, car obj1 dot year. And finally what happened? Backslash and character to get the new line. So cout object 2 to display the attributes of object 2. So finally return 0. So this is the syntax you can simply see here. First of all, we need to include what? IO stream I told you that IO stream will be used with to work with input output functions. Cout for output function, cin to get the input from the user. So now come to the next, include y. Whenever we are working with strings in C++, we need to include string library. That is very important. Using namespace standard. This is very important to understand why using namespace standard. So see here, as I told you that include IOStream. IOStream is a library, okay, header library. So that header file library used to work with input and output, okay, functions. It's to, if you want to work with input and output functions, okay, we need to include IO input output stream header file library. So here input and output, okay, they are the objects, okay. Cout, here cout object will be used to get output, to see the display on the screen, okay. Now using namespace standard means if I want to use the names for variables and objects, I can use these names from the standard library. Std is a library, okay. So if I want to use names for objects and variables, so I can use them from the standard library. So that is simple definition. Don't worry about yourself, okay. While writing the coding, classes and objects, we are here creating multiple objects. So as I have briefed that, first of all try to understand include IOStream. So IOStream is a header file library which will be dealt with input output functions. Generally they are called objects, okay. Input output object to work with cout. Cout means to get display on the screen. Cin is used to take the input from the user, okay. Include string library, string header file library. Why? Because we are working with strings. So because string is not default in the string is not defined default in C++. By the help of header file, include means just like importing of import, so using namespace standard, here standard is a library. Whenever I want to use the names for variables and objects, this standard library will be used, okay. Class keyword will be used to create the class, and one name, we need to keep name of class car. Then after, inside of the flower braces, class attributes to be declared as defined. What are here class attributes? I told you that every class has some parameters, variables. Like class has, suppose fruit class has variables like what, fruit color, fruit weight, okay, like that. So here car is a class, so car class has brand is what? Toyota, Tata, Renault. Model, which model? Somewhat Kiger, latest, somewhat different star, okay, like that they will give the model. So model is a string. Year 2024. 3 attributes, class attributes declared inside of the public. So int main function, okay. Under the main function we need to, suppose class car, you can keep fruit, okay, fruit class. So whenever you write fruit class, okay, under the fruit class objects are what? Fruit class, papaya, physical objects, papaya, banana, mango, grape. These are physical objects of fruit class. But here class, so class can always start with capital letter. Car class, public is what? This is the your access specifier is a specifier used to specify the access level of attributes and methods. So if I write public colon, so this specifier will be used to specify that all the attributes of the class and methods can be accessed outside of the class. So string brand. Okay, next model year. Next is what function, int main function. Inside of that we will create an object car object one. Okay, second object and brand. Okay, cout for get the printout. So insertion operator, then object dot brand. Okay, again insertion operator. So some space, to give space, empty double quotation marks. Okay, next car object one model, insertion operator, space by double quotation marks, so backslash n. Okay, so now you do one thing, you remove the total code from here. You remove the total code. So now there is no any code here. See, there is no any code. Now you try to write data type of your in C++. So string library will be included. Library means header file. Okay, now next come to that. One class will be created with class name, class keyword, then class what name car. Always class name must be capital. Class name must be capital. Okay. Car is created class next column. Now come down, give a space here, one tab. Okay, tab is what, to give space, some space. Okay. Now class attributes, that is very important, no? Class attributes are car class. What are the attributes? Every class has some attributes. I told you the attributes, variables, parameters, fields, characteristics, all are equal. So here see, car has brand. So brand, which type of data? Toyota. Toyota means that is a string. So string type of data we need to first create. Then brand variable. Okay, created, terminate with semicolon. Now come down. Next, one more attribute of car, model. Model is what? That is also string type of data. String is equal to, next variable. Attribute means variable. Brand, model. Okay, which model? Next, year. Year is what? Integer. So integer, year is a year is what? Year is your integer type of data. So class attributes created. Okay, but these class attributes must be written inside of your access specifier public. Why? Because public is what? Public is access specifier which will specify the access level of class attributes and methods inside, written inside of the okay. Now keep this whenever you started the class, you keep this brace and you practice to keep both the start flower brace and end flower brace. Okay, you keep that practice, otherwise you will forget. And end flower brace to be terminated with the semicolon. This is the practice, huh? Inside of that attributes string, brand model, year, these are attributes of class, they must be specified under public. Now what happened? Your class attributes declared class variables. Now come to the main function. Come to what? Main function. Main function int, always main function will be started with int. Okay, now after that flower braces to flower, I told you that don't forget to keep, if you start with open brace, close brace. Under the int main function we need to create the objects. Okay, class attributes declared inside of the class name car. Inside of the main function create the object. I told you that in Python first object will be created for class. Here first class name is what? Car. Okay, and then object. So object car 1 for why? Because I told you that we will create multiple objects. Okay, object car dot 1. So here we need to assign the values. Okay, all values are what? Brand is equal to what? String. So double quote inside of the string, double quotation marks, brand. What is the brand? Suppose brand is what? Maruti. Okay, double quotation